making you wait. To the Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority, open session. It's about 6:47 p.m. Call to order. Roll call.
Mayor Camilo Garcia,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno,
Present.
Councilmember Gloria Romo is absent, Councilmember Victor Legaspi,
Here.
Councilmember Lisa Tailinda. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you. With that, let's go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Bueno, can you lead us into the mission statement?
Yes, Mayor. Let's bow our head. Oh, I'm sorry. Calexico City Council mission statement. Together, we pledge to provide efficient services in a courteous and respectful manner. We bring the quality of life for all in a need for the community. Viva Calexico.
And now we're going to invite, Father Carlos to lead us in the invocation. Father Carlos.
Buenas tardes. Let us pray. Father, we thank you for the many blessings you bestow upon us. We ask that you give us the wisdom and courage to try new ideas that produce constructive change. May the power of innovation be instilled in us so that what was previously impossible becomes achievable. Help us to be creative in our approach and never be afraid to take risks. Give us the strength to work together and support each other in our efforts. We may be united in our mission, giving us the power to achieve our goals. May we be humble in our successes and kind in our mistakes. Keep us passionate and motivated as we strive to find the best way forward. May we be a shining example of unity and collaboration, and continue to use our skills and talents to positively influence our community. We ask this in the name of Jesus. Oramos. Padre, te damos las gracias por tantas bendiciones que nos has proporcionado. Te pedimos que nos dé la sabiduría y el valor para probar ideas que produzcan un cambio constructivo, que nos infunda el poder de la innovación para que lo que antes era imposible se convierta en realizable. Ayúdanos a ser creativos en nuestro enfoque y a no tener nunca miedo de asumir riesgos. Danos la fuerza para trabajar juntos y apoyarnos mutuamente en nuestros esfuerzos. Que estemos unidos en nuestra misión, dándonos el poder de alcanzar nuestros objetivos. Que seamos humildes en nuestros éxitos y amables en nuestros errores. Manténnos apasionados y motivados mientras nos esforzamos por encontrar la mejor manera de avanzar. que seamos un brillante de ejemplo en unidad y colaboración y sigamos utilizando nuestras habilidades y talentos para influir positivamente en nuestra comunidad de Calexico. Te lo pedimos en el nombre de Jesús. Amén. El Señor esté con ustedes. Que la bendición de Dios Todopoderoso, Padre, Hijo y Espíritu Santo, descienda sobre ustedes y permanezca para siempre. Me dio mucho gusto estar entre ustedes. Me comprometo a estar pidiendo por cada uno de ustedes en mis oraciones. Gracias. Feliz tarde.
Thank you. And now, as a prelude to our 4th of July, we have a treat for all of you and for all our community. We have invited Calexico's own Ms. Natalia Lozano to come and sing the national anthem for us. So if you can please get up, if you can. And Ms. Lozano, if you want to come over here or come all the way to the front, you're more than welcome. You choose. Okay.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the balls bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the
So I just want to thank Ms. Natalia Lozano, perdón. Lozano, my moment of blunder. Anyway, so she had to make arrangements to be here, which I truly, truly appreciate. I know that you are, like I said, Calexico's own, and Calexico is here for you and for, for this special times. But I appreciate it. Your talent is always recognized. This is your home anytime you want to come and sing another song for us. That would be great. But thank you from the bottom of our heart and the council. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, what else do we have, to do a segue for that? But thank you once again. What's next? Oh, closed session announcement.
Thank you, Mayor. City Council made a closed session on the items on this evening's agenda. Direction was given, but no reportable actions were taken. Thank you.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion for, to approve the agenda?
So moved.
You have a second?
I second it.
Roll call.
Mayor Camilo Garcia,
Yes?
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno,
Yes.
Councilmember Gloria Romo is absent, Councilmember Victor Legaspi,
Yes.
Councilmember Lisa Thailenda,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. Public comments and public appearances. No, not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the city council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. Group commentators or commentations may request to limit their group comments to 15 minutes. The city council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to that item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the city council. Do we have any public comments?
Yes. First speaker is Jesse Garcia.
Good afternoon, Jesse Garcia, resident of Calexico. A few months ago, this person who lives at 1005 Emerson, the back house through the alley, told me that she's having problems, that every time it rains, water goes from the alley down to her property. Her backyard patio gets flooded.
Let me pause. With the excitement of Ms. Lozano's interpretation, let me just make an announcement. We actually have interpreting services. If someone needs translation services, there's a person in the back that is providing devices to get real-time translation. Si alguien aquí, perdón, mil disculpas con todo lo que estaba pasando, se me olvidó decir de que hay la opción de traducción al español. Hay una persona allá atrás que les va a proveer un dispositivo. Si quieren la traducción al español allí o inglés, ahí está su opción. So, si pueden ir allá atrás, la señorita les ayudará. Gracias.
Okay.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm sorry.
So she tells me that when it rains pretty heavy, all the water goes into her backyard patio, and sometimes even through the door, her back door into the house. When she lives, the house is right behind Sol Market on 98 and Emerson. So when Sol Market was remodeled, they had the section of the alley paved right next to the store. But there's lots of semis who go to deliver their merchandise, and they go through that alley, which is dirt, and there's potholes also. And they said that the alley is a little bit higher than their property. So they've been wanting to know if the city can fix that, repair it, pave it. Like I told them, I heard that there's supposed to be a grant or something coming in to repair or pave the alleys here in town. So hopefully someone could take a look at that one, because one time when I spoke to a city employee, he told me that we don't have engineers. The engineers has to do it. So that was probably over a year ago, and the problem's still there. So that's 1005 Emerson in the alley. Hopefully something could be done soon about that. And one more thing, the last thing is about parks. Like for a long time we've been having problems with Vincent using Rodriguez baseball field. There's a park right there on Sam Ellis. It's I think they call it retaining basins. It hasn't been used in a long time. It used to be green, well kept. It's west of the reservoir and west also of Las Casitas Park. Why can't we then, Vincent, use that one? I was told that there's a sprinkler system there, but it broke. So it looks like the city decided not to do anything with it since nobody uses it. But Vincent could, it's real big for Vincent to play their sports or baseball, football, soccer, practice there. The only thing, there's no lights, like Las Casitas Park. But nobody's going to bother Vincent by going over there. That would be a great place for them. Anything to get them out of Rodriguez Park. So hopefully you could take that into consideration. All right?
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Arturo Jaime.
Good evening, gentlemen, ladies from the council, and thank you for giving me a minute to talk. Just to remind you guys, we are developing the Border Patrol Station to the senior citizen facility. We got approved. We're not too far away from permits. But my issue here is that we also bought the Falla Paredes, which is an eyesore of Calexico. And we're going to do the same thing like what Bank of America does, which is commercial and housing. But I'm going to try to keep housing like for senior citizens, which requires less parking. Now, I'm here to try to see if I can bring it to the council to see if I can get some help, because I've been talking to the city manager, which I don't know if he's here no more, and with planning. It's been over 2 months, and the only issue here was parking, because for senior citizens, I was short like two parkings. We had 2 or 3 meetings, and I mentioned, hey, maybe we can resolve it, because there's a lot of meters, they're not making no money, and I can pay for whatever meters I need. And I'm still waiting for an answer. I do want to thank Mr. Contreras. He took me in and we talked about it. So really here, what I need is, what I've been asking is for me to continue with the building plans. After 2.5 months, I can't even continue to do the building plans. And I just want to see if I can bring that to the council for a meeting to maybe get some help from you guys. Because it's kind of frustrating when you got millions of dollars and it's just sitting there, we can't go nowhere. Or something so simple like a parking, 2 or 3 parkings short, when you got a whole bunch of meters that I'm making no money. I say I can pay for whatever meters I need. But I'm still waiting for that answer, and I hope maybe you can guys put me in the agenda, so see if you can guys give me a hand on that. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Jaime.
Thank you.
Next speaker is June Kim.
Good evening, the council members and the public members and the employee and citizens. Reason I'm here, first of all, before I speak of what I was trying to say, it was a nice song, and then national anthem, we all respecting our nations. And what I understood, what I learned, when we have anthem song, we're supposed to face into our flag and then give the respect. And it was little things maybe we can consider for the future. We have a nice song, as better thank you, but your voice is too high. Yeah. But we can make ourselves shape up a little bit more as a government, what we're supposed to do it. And first of all, real estate of the city, we should not sell to someone. We should keep for the future of the benefit of the cities. And who makes a benefit out of it? I don't know. But what I know, citizen doesn't get it. So please consider about the selling our properties. And we have planned every, for my case, every Wednesday, every second and fourth Wednesday, they're supposed to be sweeping. But it's not. Even they coming in, they just move away from the trash or leaves. They're going that way. And downtown, I don't know when they are sweeping. Why? Because sometimes the car was parked at several days at the handicap, and the car stay there. But city used to do it. They stop the motors, whatever, or the police officers, they fine after 2:30 a.m. We have a sign, and nobody cares. All the trash all over the downtown. And potholes, sidewalk, all damaged it. We have over $3 million our budget, but they don't spend money on our street and potholes, sidewalks. Where is our minimum or basic service for the citizens? And the city of council, they put the zero money for repairing the city's street conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Okay? I requested public information about 4 weeks ago. I didn't get yet.
Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Please.
Next speaker is Norma Aguilar.
Good evening. Norma Aguilar, 839 Heber Avenue. At this point in time, I would almost guarantee that the council has already made their decision in regards to the city manager. However, I need to bring something to your attention. This city has historically had a revolving door on city managers. And finally, you have a city manager that comes with over decades of experience coming from the county. And I want to tell you, I found a report done by the state of California, and which says from fiscal years 2012-13 through 2016, Calexico engaged in a pattern of spending more from its general fund that it received in revenue, causing a deficit in its general fund and a financial crisis. City leaders could have avoided that deficit and the resulting financial constraints that still limit the city's public services today by following prudent financial practices. Ellipsis. Calexico could have avoided taking on debt by obtaining reliable information and reducing spending instead of passing budgets based on incomplete or outdated information. According to its fiscal management consultant, financial consultant, it accounts for payment in the new system ledger plan, but accounted for revenue in the old system's ledger plan. Are you following me? Consequently, the city did not have a single source of information from which it could report on its financial condition. Additionally, the financial consultant stated that the city had to find new banking institution. Its bank reconciliations were not current, and it was unable to track its cash position. Although some council members questioned the validity of the budget during those years, the city council continued to approve budgets with similar spending levels. In 1 year, the city council simply approved continued spending throughout most of the year without adopting a budget, instead of requiring reduced spending until city staff addressed the underlying issues that obscured the city council's view of the city's financial position. The city's mismanagement of the budget process culminated in significant overspending in fiscal year 2014-15. The majority of the people who sat on the council are in here, except for Maritza, who just left. In that year's budget, the city budgeted for spending its temporary sales revenues for 2 different purposes. That's Measure H, of which I was on it. I doubt I will be appointed to it again. According to the city's financial consultant, the city manager prepared the capital sections of the budget, which committed the temporary sales tax to pay for costs in the capital program, while the financial director prepared the general fund of the budget, that's Mr. Quinn, which committed the same revenue to pay for staff salaries. Because the budget's general fund summary did not include all of the detailed expenditure subtotals, neither city staff nor the city council recognized this budgeting error. I can tell you this is true because the day before the council approved that budget, we met as Measure H, and Mr. Quinn presented a budget that had been already approved by the council. I'm letting you know there's more to this situation than you think. And if you're changing horses in the middle of the race, I don't know what's in for Calexico. There's a lot more information, but
Thanks.
I've probably run out of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Aguilar.
Next speaker is Jesus Solano.
Jesus Solano, 426 Rosemont. I want to congratulate this council for the open door policy that you have. You're very receptive, and I want to congratulate our city manager for being very receptive and open to the communication. I want to also thank Mr. Legaspi. We've been pretty busy, but I'll let him address the situation at his statement. And I also want to congratulate Mr. Moreno and then Mrs. Tailinda. And you, Mr. Contreras, for finally approving the volunteer waivers. I literally picked up the waivers yesterday. I gave them to Jessica Perez Gonzalez. Once I get those signatures, I will pick them up, bring them to you so we can sit down, have a conversation, and you can give me the implementation plan, how we're going to start the first pilot program at Alex Rivera's, and we'll go from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Carmen Estrada.
Buenas tardes, soy Carmen Estrada. Tengo una pregunta para Camilo Moreno y Gloria Romo. En meses atrás se aprobó un dinero que fueron 200 y tantos mil dólares para el parque de soccer. Aún no se ha hecho nada. Si acaso se ha invertido ahí 5 mil dólares. Es todo lo que se ha invertido. Yo les pido de favor que hagan ese parque, porque es el único parque que íbamos a tener, porque todavía no quito el dedo de renglón, que trabajen en eso, porque es muy importante. Ustedes lo aprobaron y tienen que cumplir. Es una promesa para nuestro programa y pues la verdad es triste. Otra, el parque Gutiérrez totalmente oscuro. Jugamos por necesidad que tenemos que jugar. Parque Gutiérrez totalmente oscuro. Ya sabe, Legaspi ya nos visitó, ya se dio cuenta, y así sucesivamente. Varias personas de aquí han ido a ver, pero el problema pues se tiene que arreglar porque ya no es conveniente venir y desgastarnos aquí con los niños, con los papás, para pedirles lo que se tiene que hacer. Hay dinero, porque sí hay dinero para el parque de soccer. Se está haciendo lo de béisbol, me da mucho gusto, porque el ingeniero que está ahí en el proyecto me dijo, no hay nada para soccer, es todo para béisbol, banquetas y eso. Las medidas de parque de soccer no las da. El señor, el que trae la obra, no tiene el proyecto de soccer, tiene otro proyecto que es la primera fase, la que se dio fue de soccer, y no sé qué está pasando aquí, es desgastante. Y también, al mismo tiempo, quiero dar gracias al jefe de policía. Qué tan importante es tener iluminado el campo. Hace meses atrás llegaban cientos de niños saliendo de la high school a pelear a trancazos. Fue algo horrible. Gracias a Dios lo controlamos, el departamento de policía y nosotros, porque ellos estaban atentos a lo sucedido. Integramos a esos niños a equipos para que todo estuviera bien, ¿verdad, jefe? Hubo casos muy feos, nada que ver con el programa, pero eran niños que salían de high school a darse con todo a los campos. Y también quiero darle gracias a Parques y Recreaciones, porque el sábado pasado tuvimos fertilizando por parte del programa, los papás y personas que ayudamos. José Saldaño estuvo al 100 ahí con el sistema de riego, y es una mejoría total. Y muchas gracias. Con permiso.
Thank you. City Manager's report.
Good evening, council, members of the community. I think before we begin, just do a little quick PSA. I know we had a busy closed session, but community members that are attending council meetings and whatnot, we should hold some sort of chambers etiquette with each other, respect each other, and not try to demeanor or disrespect any of the members up here on the dais or so forth. You know, we want to create, like Mr. Solano said, an open door policy where we're approachable and you can talk to, but at a respectable space. With that being said, it's been a busy few weeks trying to get settled in and catch up on a lot of things that have been going on throughout the city. As mentioned, I'm here to continue moving the city forward. No major changes or whatnot, but just continue that open door policy that I have and hearing everybody's concerns, like Mr. Jaimes, Mr. Solanos, and each one of the community members that have reached out. With that being said, with Mr. Jaimes' project at Fives Paredes, the wheels are in motion. I'm going to reach out to him next week regarding his proposal with the help of Mr. Barba to get him to the next step. So having tons of meetings and whatnot, library has kicked off, the restrooms were updated and up and running, their ACs are up and running. Ms. Legaspi got her mini split in her office where she doesn't have to have a fan pointing at the, you know, the entrance of her office and getting her AC. There's an unfortunate event at the Parks and Recreation Center where an AC unit just went out. It didn't meet the deadline for this meeting, but we will continue to work forward with Ms. Gerardo to get that AC up and running for the Parks and Recreation. Cordova Park. I had a meeting with them last week with the engineers and project managers, so we're looking at a tentative date of mid-August to September to be completed. It's a long project that's been waiting for a long time and hopefully comes into fruition by September. First in Heffernan, there was a trash issue. That was this community was outreach and contacting and concerns of some trash bins that are by the old port of entry. Along with community staff doing an amazing job, we were able to relocate those trash bins behind First Street and Second Street in the alleyway to clear up and kind of, you know, clean up that little area. But I want to give kudos to the staff for doing an amazing job and helping, and the community that got involved to help out with that project. Like Mr. Solano said, waivers. Going into this waiver project, it was brought to my attention that there's equipment sitting at City Shop that has been there for a few years. Why? Who knows? But let's put it to work, right? With the help of HR and these waivers already kind of being already in place, it's just come over to City Hall and pick up your waiver and move forward, right? These waivers have already been in place for a while. It's just saying, yes, let's do it, and let's get moving. So Mr. Solano picked up a few waivers already, waiting for his return. I'll get with risk management and HR to get these sorted out, and we'll move on to the next step. Address, where is it at? 223rd Street, Old Thrifties. The city has finally taken over that property. The encampment has been removed for an individual that was there. ICTC has gone and put up their fencing for tentative groundbreaking for the bus depot mid-August to early September also. So fencing has gone up in that area of downtown. The encampment has been removed with no issues or whatnot, with great work from Chief Orozco and his staff. That happened this morning. The Fiesta building right across the street. Fiesta building, we've been talking to the property's family, where we're able to sit down, have a few meetings, and come up with a plan to finally get it demolished. That's in the works with the great help, again, planning, city staff. They're the all-stars in this building. They're the ones that do all the work and help me help the community to move forward with these projects. Weed abatement and at the La Jolla Palms, which is over there by Spud Moreno, we're working with Fire Prevention Services, which is a third-party contractor, to clean up that whole area. We're just waiting on a few little things to get moving, so we can start doing the beautification around the city. I think that's, for the most part, that's everything in a nutshell.
Thank you, City Manager. Commissioners report. Do we have any commissioner? Oh.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, members of the public. Chairwoman Patricia Ureña wasn't able to attend, so I'm just giving the message that we will have our meeting next week, July 10th at 6:30. So of course, we would like to invite the public. Of course, Council, you're invited to. We have some items to discuss, which we would like to hear the constituents, any issues. We would like to hear what's going on. So last meeting we had was in April, so this is going to be our regular meeting, July 10th. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from commissions? Thank you. So now we move to City Council comments and reports of meetings attended, starting with Malik, right?
Good evening, Council and members of the public and staff. I've had quite a few meetings with the public, community members. Most of the concerns expressed have been regarding the downtown area. And to go off of what our city manager has reported, downtown is being worked on really hard by staff, and I give all the kudos and praise to them carrying out those efforts very swiftly. So thank you, staff, for working hard to clean up downtown. That's the heart of our city, in my opinion. So that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. City Manager, for expediting that volunteer program. Mr. Solano, thank you very much for that. I know you have some of the supporters here. I think we finally turned that page. I've always said that we have a population of skilled workers. Some are retired. Some can contribute to the city of Calexico. And hopefully that program will be the poster child for other programs. I would like to see some guidelines, maybe, Mr. City Manager, as to how we get recruiting, how we qualify them out. For the meantime, I think you have enough, Mr. Solano and City Manager, for the Alex Field. Should be the pilot program for this. And thank you for all those. I know Mr. Dordan, I forgot about you. You were very, very instrumental with that Rodriguez Park. Hopefully that's a little bit bigger park. I think that's going to be a little more time consuming. Hopefully when that Alex Field is done, you can go over to Rodriguez Park and you can continue working with that over there. The other thing I wanted to say is that enjoy your 4th of July. It offers rights for us, freedoms, and we should appreciate every day we live here in this beautiful city of Calexico. So you're well deserved that holiday, and always participate in any way you can. I know the volunteers in Calexico are going to be doing that. So for me, it's a great pleasure that we enjoy our freedoms and rights, and we do so. But up here for us, if we were able to do it with the people, that's our democracy, right? And really appreciate that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Malagas.
I too like to thank the city manager for having that open door. We have done a lot for the past few weeks, and we have a lot of exciting events coming up. One of the things that was mentioned was the Old Fiesta restaurant. Not only the city manager opening the doors, but we weren't able to accomplish this task without the assistance of the people out here. It was brought to our attention. It was brought to the attention of council a couple of years ago, but we made it happen. So we're going to clean that up. So that's project number one. We're also going to hit other places in the downtown area to clean up. So we're moving forward and expeditiously. Also, I'm proud to announce that the Chamber of Commerce is coming back home. So we're working on it. Ben Horton has been helping me out. So thank you, Ben. So we have 4 locations. We were like, where are we going to have this Chamber of Commerce? Now we're trying to figure out which locations we're going to choose. So we've got 4 locations to choose. The nonprofit or tax issue is complete. So we have meetings coming up in
very soon we're going to inform the public when it's going to open. So it's coming back home. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to report that also 2 weeks ago we had our first 2-on-2 meeting with IID staff and Director Gonzalez, along with the city manager and Mayor Pro Tem. So on that also we discussed things such as, lighting, the upkeep of the fence of the All-American Canal, then also looking into solving some of the issues with overflow of water in the retention basins. So we're looking into that, and we are actually working on a solution for that. That should be coming up soon. Again, thank you to IID staff and Director Gonzalez for that. Then after that, I had the privilege to go to Washington, D.C. So once in a lifetime opportunity, and for myself, I think it was one of the highlights of being there, And aside from the political, take on this, to me it was an opportunity not so much to represent myself, but to represent our city and our area. And that was a great time to showcase, who we are. There were people who were asking, where's Calexico? What is Calexico known for? And of course, I didn't stop short of, bragging about, our people, the entrepreneurial spirit, the can-do attitude, which is showing right now. But just being next to the president, again, aside from the political, again, affiliations that we might have, to me, being there, it was my Disneyland moment, being next to the president, the first lady, members of his cabinet, Dr. Javier Becerra from Health and Human Services, Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas, our Senator, Padilla, which I had a chance to talk to him about Calexico and the whole Imperial Valley and what's going on here. So he was very interested in that. But again, it was a once in a lifetime opportunity, and something that I want to make sure that you know about that trip also. That was self-funded. There was no money spent from the city or the taxpayers. That came out of my own pocket. So again, I went and I truly enjoyed it. On another note, as you can probably see now, and probably have gone through already, 98, that is finally open. And I know there's some concerns about a piece of this 98 that is that the asphalt it's in bad shape. So I have been in communication with Caltrans. They're aware of that, and the engineers are aware of that. So we should be getting an answer on that as to how or when it's going to be fixed. The deadline that they gave me is about, I think it was the 20th of this month. They're going to come back to us and find out, let us know when they're going to fix it or how they're going to fix it. Because, it is nice, but, they left that part that is really needs some work. Then also after that, 2 days ago, I had a meeting with other mayors from our local cities in addressing the homelessness issue, the unhoused individuals. That now, and that has not been only an issue for Calexico or a local issue, but rather is a regional, and not regional, but nationwide. So we know that this is not going to be solved, just by one city, but also all the cities, the county, and all the different stakeholders that should be at the table. So that this is going to be an effort that is going to be taken on by the cities, by the mayors, in reaching out to the counties and the different departments to come up with a plan. But going beyond a plan, some tangibles that we can work on, to address that issue. And lastly, also, I want to wish all of you a happy 4th of July. Enjoy, spend time with your families. Again, I want to thank and recognize, Ms. Natalia Lozano, for making arrangements to be here. I know that, we don't have a celebration for the 4th of July, but I think, this is way much better than a celebration. Listening to her voice. And I do thank you. Be safe, enjoy. Barbecue, if you barbecue, give me a call. I'm available tomorrow. But anyway, enjoy your 4th of July. With that, we'll move to the consent agenda.
So move.
Do you have a second?
I
Second.
have a public comment.
And before we move on, we have a public comment. Right?
Yes. Mr. June Kim?
Okay, I was not gonna say, but I think I'd rather say for the future. And I believe that Mr. Garcia was put on the agenda. They can have a 30 minutes only for the public comment. If they pass the 30 minutes, they're gonna, the rest of the time, they're gonna end up the meeting for the finishing the public comments, or not unitemize the public comments. Yes, I understand. Sometimes there's people spend so much time for the lots of these people coming out, but how many times are we gonna have it like that case? And second of all, the people was talking. My experience with the government, city council, and the school board. When I'm talking, they were cutting in the middle when I'm talking. So they intentionally cutting my concentration about what I'm talking. So they just cutting in the middle, intentionally. Same, but this is the public opinions. They were angry, or they're happy, or they want to shade up, whatever they're coming in. And they want to try to say yes, but the 30 minutes later, they just cut it up, and then you have to wait until we finish the meeting. I think you should consider about that, how many times you're going to have a day like this. And the public going to have a pressure in middle of the talking, and then you're going to close the meeting to send it back to the rest of the time, so people have to wait all the meeting finished to speak whatever they wanted. Most of the unitemized, they come in with a problem, not just like a popped up somewhere, because people was talking to the issues with the public. People's or city of Calexico's issues. So probably maybe you might gonna have a chance to 10, 20 minutes more, but it's worth it. It take once in a while, it's worth to take it. So please don't try to cut the talking, the people's comment. I don't think as much is gonna be happens, but please consider about that. Thank you.
Thank you. How about roll call?
Mayor Camilo Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno?
Yes.
Councilmember Romo is absent. Councilmember Victor Legaspi?
Yes.
Councilmember Lisa Thailand?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to discussion of potential action items. Item number 14, adoption of a resolution finding that the SBA First Street Water Tower easement transaction project is categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, and direct filing of CEQA notice under exemption approval of the project and authorization for the acting city manager or designee to sign the updated SBA agreements between the City of Calexico and SBA Towers X LLC for the Calexico Water Tower located at 352 East First Street, Calexico, California. Acting city manager.
Yes, thank you. I'll be doing the presentation for this item, Mayor. This is the fourth amendment to this agreement. We've been here before council beginning in 2020 on this item. What began here was in 2019, the city found that one of the four structural footings on the water tower on First Street was deficient. The city did do some repairs to stabilize it, and thereafter issued an RFP to outside parties to see whether or not there was any interest in either acquiring or potentially obtaining an easement for the water tower. Since then, we've been in negotiations with SBA Towers on different proposals. We've looked at removing potentially the water tower, potentially relocating it to Los Otros Park, or totally replacing a new one. At this point in time, under the last round of information before you, and what's currently before you, is that the water tower will now remain where it's presently at. SBA Towers will construct a new wireless facility. There are currently 5 wireless companies on the water tower. 4 of those, which are AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and Verizon, we will be relocated to the new wireless tower. Customs and Border Patrol, they still will remain on the water tower. And part of the agreement also provides for a 55-year term or an easement. To the extent there are any new tenants on the water tower, the city will collect 70% of those revenues. In consideration for that, the city, under the agreement, will be receiving $892,000 and change. And some of the other specific terms in the agreement are they will leave the water tower intact and in place. They will complete repairs to its foundation to repair the existing structural issues with the water tower. Remove all the wireless tenant equipment from the tank, except for the CBP antennas there, and they'll construct a new tower with a 25-foot by 25-foot footprint. At the end of the staff report, there are some diagrams that show what the new wireless facility will look like, and it's depicted alongside the current water tower. The water tower itself will be cleaned up a bit because currently you do have a lot of antennas and equipment. A lot of that will be removed. So you'll have, in that sense, you'll have a cleaner. But if the public want to see how the water tower will look in comparison to the new wireless tower, there are some depictions in the staff report as well. With that, open for any questions from the City Council.
Any questions from the City Council?
I don't, Mayor.
No, I don't.
From the public? Any public comments? And I just want to make sure that we emphasize that the tower is not going to be brought down, it's not going to disappear. We're not going to
Correct.
get rid of it, right?
Some initial proposals did have the tower being removed. There was also one proposal where essentially a fall tower, like a fake tower would be, the one would be removed, a look-alike would be replaced. The new proposal now will keep the water tower intact. One of the footings would be reinforced with a foundation, because there's some structural integrity issues there. And a new tower that's 15 feet lower will be constructed on site, and the antennas will be moved over. So the water tower itself will look a little cleaner, just because a lot of the equipment and wireless antennas will be moved over to the new tower.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that we clarify, because I know the last time there were people up in arms.
Correct.
And, just very transparent. So with that, do I have a motion for approval?
Yeah, so move.
Do I have a second? Second. Roll call.
Mayor Camilo Garcia.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno.
Yes.
Councilmember Gloria Romo is absent. Councilmember Victor Legaspi.
Yes.
Councilmember Lisa Thailenda.
Abstain.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item number 15, authorize acting city manager to sign agreement of professional services between the City of Calexico and Lee and Roll, Inc. in the amount of $282,818 for engineering design services for the chlorine conversion project, gaseous chlorine feed system to liquid hypochlorite feed system of a water treatment plant, and Eastside Water Reservoir, Public Works Manager.
Good evening, Mayor and council members and those present. In 2008, the city built 2 chlorine facilities, one on our east side water reservoir that is located on the 600 block of Cole Road, and also on our water treatment plant that is located in the 500 block of Pierce Avenue. Both of these chlorine facilities house chlorine gas. Throughout the years, the water treatment plant operators as well as the maintenance crew has provided maintenance and all the necessary documents to have these facilities in place, and with all the permits from both the State Department of Water, Public Health Drinking Water, as well as, for example, the Department of Toxic Substance, CUPA. Since these facilities have been over 15 years old, there has been some equipment that is either deteriorated or also obsolete. The equipment is a variety between scrubbers, pipeline, valves, electrical components. So since 2019, we had staff has started looking into doing a conversion from gas chlorine to gas liquid, which is the gas liquid would become down to 12.5%. We have researched that once we do the conversion, it will be a cost savings to the city in both the operation and maintenance. For example, for the city, it would be for personnel would be overtime right now in order to do any type, for example, for the delivery of the cylinders, when they are delivered to the water treatment plant in the east side, we need to have 5-member personnel, 3 operators, and then 2 maintenance. If there is a need or an emergency on the weekend or a change in cylinder, we have to call in personnel in to assist the operator that is working, because they can't do it by themselves. They have to have another operator with them. So those are little cost savings that we can do. Also, because of these facilities, again, we have to have the necessary permits, and the permits require, for us to have plans and submit them to the state or the county every year, every 3 years, or every 5 years. So there's a variety of savings that we can do, because those plans are very costly to the city. They run between $10,000 to $30,000, depending on the plans that are required for the permitting. Also, every year our operators get fit tested for their respiratory equipment. So that's another savings that we can do, because once it's changed to chlorine liquid, they don't have to have the respiratory equipment that they currently use to work with the chlorine. Also, again, we could save money with all the plans. We estimate that for each of the facilities, every year it's about $50,000 cost for maintaining those facilities. Although our water treatment plant operators and maintenance staff have done a great job, when you pass by, you see our facilities, but actually all the work that needs to be done is, inside as well as underground. I want to let you guys know that we're the only city that hasn't changed to chlorine liquid. What we did in the Public Works Department is we did a request for proposal, and we advertised it both in Pure Valley Press as well as a city website to invite engineering firms to come and give us a proposal just for the design. Our city clerk received 1 bid, and that was from Lee & Rowe. We went ahead and reviewed their bid, as well as saw that they were the engineering firms that has worked for the city of El Centro. So we are requesting that City Council authorize the city manager to sign an agreement of professional services with Lee & Rowe to begin the design phase. Again, this is just the design phase. Once the design phase is completed, then I will be coming back to you to request to do the construction portion of it. One factor of it is, again, we here in Calexico, we already have the facilities. So it would just be doing the retrofitting to the new chlorine liquid.
Do you have any comments, questions from council?
Go ahead, Victor.
I do. Now, if we do the transitioning to liquid, what's going to happen to the building that is up there right now?
We're going to continue using the same It would just have to be retrofitting with new pipeline, new electronics to do the change for chlorine liquid.
Okay. The safety factor behind it, the gas, how dangerous is that if it should leak?
Well, right now, if there is a leak, our emergency plan is to immediately start evacuating 3 miles of around our water treatment plant, which includes schools, homes, and also a portion of our international border. So it's scary. I was a resident of El Centro about maybe 20 years ago, and we were evacuated because we lived close to the water treatment plant when they had an issue there. If we convert it to liquid, it's more like, for example, when you go to Walmart and you purchase chlorine bleach to clean your house. Typically it's about 6%. This one will be 12.5. It will be just spillage and cleanup, but no evacuation or anything like that.
Is it my understanding when you handle anything of gas nature, you have to be almost if you're suited up as a hazmat personnel? Suited
Yes.
up?
Yeah. Well, our employees, as I mentioned, they are fitted annually for their respiratory. They don't wear a hazmat suit, but it's just their respiratory equipment. When there is any type of leakage, it could be very damaging to them if they're not wearing the proper equipment, or even go through the shirt that they're wearing.
Has anyone in the past gotten hurt?
I hope HR's not hearing me. But there was an incident about 2 weeks ago when somebody from our operators did get a little hurt.
Because of the gas?
Because of the gas.
Okay. I did make some phone calls. I called different cities around. No, actually, I called 2 cities, and I did speak with a couple of water plant supervisors. I won't mention their names. One of them works in El Centro. He's been there for 28 years. He was the chief operator for Brawley. He worked for Brawley, and then he went to El Centro. And he did explain to me the potential leak that could happen if this infrastructure is not intact. And he did explain the radius of how the evacuation will work if something would happen. And I do confirm that other cities, we're the only city, it appears to be we're the only city that works with gas, and the rest are working with chlorine, with liquid. And the reasons for that is because of the potential danger of having a leak of gas. I also spoke to Hopeville, their chief water plant personnel, and he concurs the same thing. He's been working for Hopeville for 6 years. So yeah, I do have concerns. Some people says, well, it hasn't leaked for many years. Well, we haven't had an active shooter. We've never had an active shooter, but could that occur? Yes. Hopefully it doesn't. So I do have concerns. Thank you.
Any comments? Lisa?
I do.
Go ahead.
You wanna go first?
Oh, wait.
I have quite a few.
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay. Question. So for going out to RFP from the various types of options there are to treat water, what other alternative solutions were considered, and why was this specific conversion project chosen over others, if there was anything done for that?
Well, option number 1 would be to improve the existing facility for the chlorine gas, update it, make sure everything is working properly, and this is option 2, doing the chlorine gas. And also, like I mentioned, we've seen it been working for other cities north of us, so that was, it's for us would be a cost savings.
Okay. Another question, and I like to focus on safety. What specific safety measures, and you gave a lot in the background, so I don't want that to get lost, but what specific safety measures will be implemented during the conversion from the gaseous chlorine system to the liquid hypochlorite system. How will the project mitigate any potential environmental impacts during and after, if it's approved, the conversion begins?
Well, the safety measures will continue with our operators as well as our public works staff. They have monthly safety meetings with our safety consultant. Then we also have a yearly, our operators invite the fire department to tour our facilities, and also because that's one of the requirements of our emergency plan. As for, we will continue to do the same. There will not be no, once it's in the construction phase, there will not be no disturbance with the existing. So it will, we'll continue working with the gas, and then once with the gas, and once the liquid is set, then it will be transferred immediately.
Okay, can you clarify or discuss on the Coupa requirements? How does that transfer into the conversion? Because there's cost savings for Coupa as outlined in the staff report?
Yes, because of the facility being gas, Coupa visits us annually, and they go and make sure that we are in compliance with the equipment or with all the plans. I haven't been involved in the inspection portion of it, but they also make, with the plans, they make sure that we are doing the monthly safety meetings. They make sure that every time the operators go into, they have to date and time their entrance, what they have changed, and when it goes into the liquid, we don't require anymore the Coupa permitting.
Now, if you can walk me through a hypothetical, say there's, Lord forbid, a leak with the chlorine gas. What happens? How do you stop that? Who goes and shuts it off? How does it shut off?
Well, our emergency plan is immediately we contact our fire department, and then they go and assist us, and then we call the, what's the number of the? The hazmat team from the county, and then they go through the system of advising those that are within the 3-mile radius.
What happens if you breathe in chlorine gas?
It goes in through your system, and there's a possibility of you dying.
Okay. So who turns it off, though? Besides you having a 3-mile radius cleared out, evacuated, how do you mitigate the leak? What's the shut off?
It would be through the hazmat team and our
Okay.
operators.
So someone has to go manually turn it off. What's the response time look like that you guys played with scenarios to do all that?
I think that I'm sorry, I'm looking at my operators. They know the plan probably by heart. Do you guys know? 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
The county has nothing to show?
No, for the
Are you asking
response.
for the county?
Yeah, there
Response
was like to
or the
go,
city response?
someone to get there to shut it off.
Well, it all depends on the nature of the situation,
Right.
right? It all depends how big the leak is. If they're gonna call fire to show up, fire's gonna get there and evaluate where it's leaking, make contact with city employees to see where is it something that's accessible, is it something that's underground. So we'll do our initial assessment. Depending on where the leak's at, it can take 20 minutes to an hour to however long, depending on how bad it is. I'm sure they have emergency shutoffs where they can manually go and maybe cut that flow of gas from their safety point of view. But it all depends on how bad the situation is.
Does the system that you have right now notify you?
Yes.
Okay. Are all systems 100% foolproof? Are they? No, right? Okay. I do have a
We do have alarms.
Yes, right? But you never know, right? So, what is the maintenance plan for the new system, if approved, right? If we go through that process, and how does it compare to the maintenance requirements for the current system, right? Lots of fees associated?
Well, part of the engineering design, if the Enro is selected, is to provide us an operation and maintenance plan for the new system.
Okay. do we have a community impact plan? Like, how will the city communicate with the local community about the project and its benefits? Have we done that, or would that be done through this process, maybe? Just to notify, if it's approved, if we do move towards the conversion, will we do some sort of community outreach?
It's not part of the proposal, but we can sure make the public outreach to notify the community.
Okay. All right. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. So let me thank you for your information. Where's the report from the state of California that our current system is unsafe? Do you have a report on that?
No, we don't have a report from the state of California. What we do as city employees is do preventive maintenance before the state comes in and provides us any report or violations. What I can say is that every 2 years, the Department of Drinking Water comes over, and they're here for about 2 days. They sit down with the operators as well as the supervisor and myself, and we go through they have a huge, long checklist of not only the chlorine system, but the tanks, distribution, valve maintenance. So I believe they're going to be coming pretty soon. And once they're here, they'll probably see that we are in need of changing the scrubber, which to us, or to me, is what is right now in non-compliant. But we're trying to prevent getting any type of violations. We want to make sure that we improve our infrastructure so we can prevent that.
Okay. We currently get audited by the state, right? In other words, the water plant gets regulated by the state. Yes. They're the experts. We're not. You're not an expert. I'm not an expert. So can you tell me, in the last 50 years, have we had an incident where the city of Calexico will put at risk because of a gas chlorine? Any incident, any reports were out there?
Incidents of evacuation, no.
Anything you can say, there was a gas leak, it's unsafe, we should change
hurt,
it.
yes.
I'm sorry?
Incidents of having evacuation, no, but incidents of employees getting hurt, yes.
Okay, but there's no incident of the city of Calexico will put in danger anytime. That's the citizens, right? There's no incident, no report of that.
Well, the whole community is, when we are delivered the chlorine, right now we're only talking about the water treatment plant, but when the chlorine cylinders of 1 ton are crossing to get to the water plant, all the community is in danger because we never know when there's going to be an accident when they're being delivered. With the with the chlorine liquid, it's just, like I mentioned, five employees have to take those cylinders down. When it comes to the chlorine liquid, they're just going to show up, fill a tank, and then leave. And that's no danger to the community.
Okay. Do we have a city engineer who can provide us with expert advice? Not you or me or anybody. A city engineer that works for us that says this is unsafe, or whatever you look at it, can come up here and tell me that I need to change this to liquid chlorine.
No, sir, the city engineer that was hired left us after 3 months.
Okay, thank you. So we invested in, I believe there was a study in 2010 that we invested, the city of Calexico invested over $1 million to upgrade the facility, in a state-of-the-art facility. And the reason why all the cities don't have it is because we're the state-of-the-art facility, and there's no need to change. Just because other cities are changing it, we need to change it. Me personally, I don't like the idea when we use scare tactics to scare the people that we're going to have an incident. I can see we're being proactive because we're actively involved with the people's safety, but we haven't had an incident. The state regulates us, doesn't see any problems. They come and say, you're 100% compliance. We invested money to upgrade the facility, but now we need to change it when we don't have to. Okay? Now, is it the conversion from gas chlorine to liquid chlorine, is it more cost effective or less cost effective?
sorry, I didn't understand.
Okay, so when you put gas into the water system, it's my understanding, I spoke to a gentleman who comes and tests our water samples from San Diego, and he says you're going to use more liquid to chlorinate your water. If you use liquid chlorine, you're going to be able to transport it in containers than you do with gas. Okay. The other thing also is that we're going to invest over $280,000 for what I believe is no reason at this point. But yet we just got a fine from the state of California because our water shut-off policy was not updated. We're going to have to pay a big fine. I would rather use that money to pay the fine because we really use the money right now because there's no danger. That's my take on that one. And also, for me, is we voted on this a long time ago. Why is it back on the agenda? I mean, we voted. It kind of undermines our vote. And I'm not, no personal attack to you, Mr. Falomir. I think you're the person who's got this task, and I think you're bringing it up to us. I appreciate it, but we voted already, so it's kind of undermines our vote already. So why bring it again? Other than there's no, real reason that we have to do it, because we have other priorities we can spend that money, and we already upgraded the facility. So I have my reservations on that, and I'm opposed to that. Thank you.
Can you clarify for me, for my understanding, based on the information given to us, cost savings, it's touched upon. The conversion, in my understanding, conversion to liquid hypochlorite system is expected to result in cost savings for the city. For example, the conversion will eliminate the need for CUPA permits, accidental release prevention programs, reduce annual maintenance costs, and remove the need for expensive scrubber replacements, right?
Correct.
So there is a cost savings potential, right, in theory. Okay. Now, I understand that this proposal to go into an RFP to modernize and make our system safer. It's, in summary, the city aims to improve safety, ensure regulatory compliance, reduce maintenance challenges and cost, and modernize its water treatment facility by converting to the liquid hypochlorite system, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
We're the only city in the valley that doesn't have that, right?
Correct.
Okay. I remember I was part of a different city. I was employed. Well, they went through this transition. I did not work in the department, but I fully support safer and modernized facilities. That's why we have a lot of outdated facilities, because in my opinion, we haven't given the attention to our infrastructure. And I think that why can't we have something nice and safe? Especially, I don't think any life is worth risking for an accident to happen. I like preventative measures, and the way I see this is a preventative measure. We're investing in the infrastructure, and we're modernizing it and making it safer for all of us who live in the city. Right?
Yeah.
That's what this aims towards?
Yeah, one more. You done?
Yes.
Thank you. One more thing. We rely on the state of California to tell us we're safe or not. Okay? That's the bottom line. They have experts over there with degrees, engineers, chemists, that tells us you don't have to do anything. For me, that's good enough. And to say that we want something safer, for me, I don't like to use the word safer. No offense, Ms. Salinas. It's either you're safe or you're not safe. There's no such thing as more safer. Okay? For those reasons, I'm not gonna vote on this. There's no need for that. I'd rather use that money for where somewhere else is needed. Right now, we don't need to spend that money. Just a study, and it's gonna grow. It's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going. Calexico has a habit of getting into trouble. We go this studies, and then we're gonna go, oh, we need another study. We need another study. And it's gonna go for it. Well, we don't even need that, because remember, we also got the water rates coming up, which right now, I'm opposing to that. So, for those reasons, I'm not in favor for this. Thank you.
Thank you. Um, So after hearing all the, comments, yeah, of course, safety is first, but then also, common sense of investment in our infrastructure, that is also something that I agree to. But as far as safety, I don't see a letter here from the water board or any other regulatory agency that says that we are not meeting the safety, requirements by that plan. What I see here is a consultant that is recommending. What I see also a vendor that is recommending, this transition. Then also, it is my understanding that Mexicali has three plants also, and guess what they use? So, again, we're not putting Mexicali in the spot. Yes, none of the local cities have liquid bleach. I mean, all the cities have liquid bleach except for us. But Coachella has still gas. Palm Springs has gas. One of the Los Angeles, water district has gas. Some of the water districts in the Sacramento area has gas also as chlorine, liquid chlorine. So, and that's not to say that because they have it, we should also keep it. But again, I'm just trying to put everything into perspective. I do agree that, there's a lot of investment that we have to make. There's also a lot of decisions that we have to make. And we have also, like, Mayor Pro Tem alluded to, our water rate studies. So with that, we're going to ask you to maybe support that also. But we're going to ask you also, do you want to support this improvement? I mean, again, I don't want to risk the safety, but I think of right now, and this is just an engineering study that we're seeing, right? For 200-something thousand. We don't know yet what's going to be the cost of the project. And then as far as the cost savings, I'm not an expert on this, and I'm not going to even, try to be an expert. But to me, if you have 100% on gas versus 12.5% on liquid, how much are you going to use, right? How much are you going to pay? So is there really cost savings? So I think there's a little bit more due diligence. I mean, I don't want the staff to take it as a negative, as the council not being supportive of safety. We are, but we're also being very, analytical as to how we invest our monies. So, well, again, I'm just posing that scenario because we're going to, go through a process of the water rates. We're going to have, the feedback from the public as to how they want to invest it, as to, if this water rate study, also by adopting it, that's what they so choose, that this is what it's going to fund also. This is some of your answers that you're asking also. You're asking how is your money going to be invested. This is how potentially it's going to be invested. I mean, but there's some other things also that we need to invest in our water plant. We all know that, right? We need to modernize our water plant. We need to augment the capacity of our water plant for growth. And we've done that, right? But, still, we still have many more issues. So I just want to be analytical and also responsible in my decision and in my direction based on the facts. So With that,
We have
public comments.
Yes. June Kim?
First of all, I'm glad this council looks like going right track. And any actions we supposed to taking cost and benefit. And there is no benefit by spending the money. Why? Because 2020, they bring the same issues. They're using these issues to making $40 million bond. 5 years project, 2020. And although end of the process, they brought this one to say, in case leaking gonna be danger. But it's not danger. People, staff from that time, staff was saying it's not danger. But they saying is in case the leaking. And then let's say that time was they were talking right. Then they issued the bond. They supposed to fix it. And they after fix it about even 4 years later, they come and say, "Oh, we are in trouble." I believe the right track is the council supposed to be check all the water and waste system they spending about the bond what they issued 5-year project. And I was requesting May 15 public information about all the expenditure of the bond. I didn't get anything yet. So we're going to have an answer over there. Either it was not the danger, or they fixed it. Or they've not fixed it, where's the money? And why they have to bring again? I admire with Mr. Garcia's studies for the comparison of the other neighbor. Probably you are right. And city of Calexico, sometimes they moving without any fact. When I was council, we had one paper say the budget that we are positive, we are negative. When I was mayor, I brought the system about the budget. Now they're going back. They're going back to the what's called the failing transparency on our budget. Just simple papers again. That time, Mr. Moreno was supposed to be no. What they're saying is, police departments petroleum gas price $230 for the week, for the month. $230 for the gas only for the police petroleum. So nonsense there. So please look into the really necessary for that. The fact, like what you guys said, pay attention on it. But this happening was 4 years ago. So if you go back with the investigation, then you're going to know answer.
Thank you, Mr. Kim.
So please not to accept this one and go study ourselves. Thank you.
Next speaker is Jesus Solano.
Jesus Solano, 426 Ross 1, Calexico. I oppose changing from gas liquid to chlorine. And why? Here we go again, scare tactics, okay? That's just to pressure the council. Don't buy into it. This is what bothers me of administration, okay? I'm not using now 11 hour. I'm using 11.59, like a minute to spare before the deadline. Come on, give me a break. It's a disservice that Public Works has done to us. Same fiasco that happened with the water rates. They knew beforehand that it was coming down the pipeline. They knew this issue was coming down the pipeline, okay? Why didn't they take their time to have open talk meetings for the community to inform us, to educate us? Now, at the 11th.59, they want this council to approve it and for us to back it up. If you accept this, this is another fiasco as fire station number 2. This is a consultant. If you open that door, there's no end to it. I believe in safety, yes, but let's do it the right way. I understand that our infrastructure is old. Let's maintain it. Let's bring it up. I'm in favor of that. But a transition, no. Why? On gas, we have like a 96, 98%. That is gas all the time. The summers are long here. Gas is efficient. If there's a problem in the water system, you pump in more gas and it clears it fast. Chlorine takes longer. Chlorine dilutes in the summer. Chlorine is weak in the summer. This project that they want to bring in, apparently 14 days when they come in and fill up those tanks, by the 14th day, that chlorine that's still pending on that tank, it's going to be pure water. How can you compare 96 or 98 to 12.5? It doesn't make sense. It's going to cost more bleach. At the end of the day, it costs more pumping bleach into the system than you do in gas. And it's a disservice what the Public Works does to us. We have this deal with the water rates coming up. Why didn't they educate us? Why didn't they inform us? Why didn't they inform the council? The same time that it took almost 5-6 years for the water rates, it's the same thing with the water treatment right now. It's unbelievable. Let's be realistic. Our infrastructure is original, it's old. Let's maintain it. Is there a mandate from the state that tells us exactly that we're unsafe? Is there a letter from Calexico that is telling us that we're unsafe? Don't buy into it.
Thank you, Mr. Galano.
Next speaker is Oscar Palero.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Oscar Palero. I am an operator here for the water plant of the city. I was going to talk about a little bit of the economic good that it was going to do, but it's disappointing to hear some of the comments for our safety. I'm the operator that there was a spill on my arm a couple weeks ago. Took about 2-3 days to clear out. Also, you guys say there has been no leaks. You guys don't work with it day in, day out. There has been many leaks. Equipment is deteriorating. We work with lead washers to seal the tanks. Those don't always work 100%. You say there's also said that we're going to use more chlorine and that it's going to deteriorate. That is why the city has competent employees working for their water plant. We know what we have to do. We know how much to inject. We know the exact process that we have to do to keep the water safe. Leave that to someone else. There is not a single operator. Let me repeat that. Operator, not a citizen, not a person working in accounting. Operators working in water plants that I have heard that working with chlorine bleach is not better. Safety-wise, we would do all this, the maintenance. We wouldn't have to have a company come in. There are countless leaks that happen. Yes, they are minor, like our city manager said. Sometimes we have to notify. There are other that you don't have to notify. But we have to go into that building and smell the little residual chlorine that's in there. And that is affecting our health. We have families, we have kids. That is our health that you guys are playing with here. So honestly, it's a little disappointing to hear some comments where it says, oh, we're not engineers, we're not doctors. Yeah, we're not, but we're the ones dealing with that every single day. So we know exactly what's going on with our facility. They might look at other high-end facilities, they might look at facilities in Coachella, where else? Our facility is not safe. It is not a risk or a hazard. Like you said, if it's either safe or unsafe, it is unsafe. There are many leaks, again. The guys that come and do our maintenance every year they have more and more complaints of how hard it is to maintain our system. Every year, it's harder for them to find parts. Every year, they're having to come back more and more times due to leaks. Every time they come back, they cost money. there are reports, like you said, there are no reports from the state. Notify the state. The state hasn't been notified. Notify them, and you'll see the reports that will come, you'll see the fines that will come to the city, and then you'll see the economic benefit. Thank you.
Next speaker is Norma Aguilar.
Norma Aguilar, 39 Heber. I didn't catch the name of the young man, but I want to commend you for your honesty, and you said exactly what I was worrying about, that there are things that we don't know about. Like you said, nobody here is an expert, much less myself, but I would certainly trust your words more than an opinion or asserting that, well, it ain't broke, why fix it? You're not the one working there in, day out. We live in an area where there are earthquakes, believe it or not. And can we guarantee that we have the staffing to respond to a national emergency like this? I agree with Ms. Thailenda and Mr. Legaspi. Something needs to be done, because I want to see what you're going to do when something happens. And it's not scare tactics. You're hearing it from the people who work there. Thank you.
Next speaker is Angela Moreno.
Hello, everyone. My name's Angela Moreno. First of all, before I go on, I just want to congratulate you all, because I can see that you are very focused in our community. You are paying attention to the citizens as well as your employees, and I understand that the well-being of everyone is on your minds as well as mine. Yes, there's a lot of concerns. We don't want to pay more money, safety issues, employee issues. I hope that he had the proper equipment and took the necessary precautions to avoid that accident. Industrial accidents are no joke. My husband, bless his soul, he lost his arm. It was on an industrial accident. So human error, pressure of employers, employee department heads takes a big part, okay? So yes, their job is dangerous. Yes, safety is a concern. Yes, the safety of the community is also a concern. But why is it the first time I hear about it? How long ago was this new system? Well, the system that we have, they spent $1 million in some amount. I'm not sure on the amount. But state of the art, if there was incidents, where's OSHA? Why hasn't the city been fined? Where are the state reports? I am sure that having a facility that dangerous, the city took proper measures to keep us safe. Now, I know there's a lot of paperwork that needs to be involved, reports that need to be done. So I suggest before you guys decide, you get all your data, as well as the data of the employees. Make sure the employees are certified, fully equipped, fully educated and trained, not only to wait for emergency systems personnel to get there, but for them to also be prepared in case of an emergency. And it can be anything. It's not just a water plant. It can be anything in our city. Yes, we have natural disasters. Do we know when we're going to have them? No, we don't. So I just suggest that all of you brought a lot of good information to the table. Some of you are researching it and are keeping an open mind. I can see that. And yes, we have families here. So the last thing we want is to put them in jeopardy, in harm's way. So I suggest that you get more data, even speak to the state, get more information as to visit the facility, have it evaluated, to see what is best, because I understand, Ms. Palomir, I don't think you're an engineer. I know you've been in that position for many years, but I would hate to be in your position and make a decision like that and put the employees in harm's way. I would not put myself in that place. So just please take it serious and do research it further, okay? Thank you.
Next speaker is Joseph Gili.
Joseph Guilin, 404 East 2nd Street. So I want to just kind of just break it down a little bit about what we're talking about, because it feels like we're trying to be one side is one side, and this is Calexico. Let's group together and figure out what it is that's here, okay? So this money is for engineering design services, right? So that means that we do not have an engineer in-house. So that means that this company is coming to us saying, hey, you got a problem, you need to pay for it. And then we're going to figure out how much you're going to pay for it first. But we need to pay us this first. I mean, that's how we should be breaking this down, because we're in a catch-22. We need an engineer, but we don't. We don't have one, right? We don't have the capacity to have one. So I suggest is to table it and to ask how they're saying, ask California if we need to do this. Will we have any violations in the future, right? Because I do understand that we can get in situations like the water rates, right, where we're now owing money. So that's something that we just have to look at it is in that perspective. This is not the city of Calexico telling city council that these services are needed. It's another company, right? So whether you believe that there is a safety need, right? But let's let California let us know, because everyone is here paying for those taxes, right? We're not just spending money just a la brava, right? We need to make sure that it's going to do something with it, and that we're not just spending money. And for me, I would say just table it, get some more information before you take any action. Thank you.
Bring it back to council. So do I have a motion for approval? Or
A motion to deny. Before I make a motion for that,
Go ahead,
I've made a motion.
Okay. Do I have a second? So it dies for a lack of a second. A second. Do I have a motion now for alternative motion?
I motion to table the item and get more information regarding the modernization and benefits of doing it or not. And also being able to get maybe staff to reach out to the state and see what they have to provide in feedback.
So and if I can, I will second that, but I would like to add a little more to that motion. Because now we're hearing about accidents. We're hearing about lack of training maybe. So I need to make sure that we are getting all that training and all that accident prevention. We do the due diligence, and it seems to me that right now what I have in front of me is not enough. So I want to make sure that I protect the safety of the staff, the safety of the community, but I need more due diligence. I need more information on that, and maybe if we can even invest in a good assessment of our facility, right? I understand, you work there, the employees, and I appreciate all the work that you do there, but assessing, and maybe this engineering, that's what, this is not for that. This is to convert into, liquid, but, assessing the facility. So that way we can come back and tell you, not just this council is just gonna give direction, right? But we want to give a direction, at least for me, with you also having input. And the input was very clear, from the employees to the community. So with that, I'll second the motion to table, pending on more information and due diligence on this item.
I have a question. Can we have that information in 2 weeks?
From what I'm gathering, it's requesting an assessment be done. I would have to hire somebody, which would be an extra cost to the city. And I don't think I can do it within 2 weeks.
How long would it take for you to
if an assessment is need to be done, I need to bring an engineering firm. That takes about 30 days for advertisement, and then go through the selection process and then bring it for council's consideration.
And how bad do you say the infrastructure is?
As you heard from one of our operators, there's leakage, but if that's what you guys want, we can do that process.
I motion for
No,
approval.
the motion was already made. So, yeah, it's already first and second. That was just additional comments. So, roll call.
Mayor Camilo Garcia,
Yes?
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno,
No.
Councilmember Gloria Romo is absent, Councilmember Victor Legaspi. To table.
Just to confirm, to table it?
This is to table.
No.
Councilmember Lisa Telani.
Yes.
So the motion fails.
So now we go back for another motion. Is there another motion? You want to make a motion based on?
Yeah, I make the motion of not tabling it and approve.
Is there a second for that? So there's no second, so it dies.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, if there's not a motion, we're going to get at least, well, depending on how people vote, then
So let me ask
we
you
can
this.
bring it back. But there's no specific procedure.
Right, so let me ask you the illegal question, right? Because you're an attorney. We already voted on this. Why bring it back again? Doesn't that supersede this?
But I understand, for I heard it was like 20. What was it voted on? I mean, there's no real protocol on that. Obviously, if council makes motions, there's only, you could undo it at that meeting, but there's not necessarily.
But my question is, if we voted on it, shouldn't that supersede whatever's?
I'd have to.
For clarification purposes, the first time I brought it in, it was tabled. There was no direction given, so that why, I brought it back today.
Okay, my question was for the attorney. So the answer is what?
On why it was brought back, I understood from staff it was tabled.
No, I know, but I'm asking you, did that whatever was the supersede, whatever, right?
I mean, generally, but you can always. I mean, staff or council can bring back an item.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm also asking is we're the city council. We vote on matters, right?
Correct.
So right now we didn't vote on anything.
Correct. There's no action right
Okay,
now.
that's all I want to know. Thank you. So we stay the same.
So do we go back and try to get another motion?
We could, or bring it back. Right now, we only have 4 council members here. Correct. You could bring another council.
So anyway, so we'll table postpone until we have a full.
Correct, especially because you are missing somebody, and having an additional council member here could change the vote. So maybe bring it back to the next meeting, and we'll have. If there's another council member present, then we'll have an additional vote.
I do have a question for staff. For the Public Works Manager, the city put out the RFP, right? We put out the RFP for this. How did this come about? This proposal, how did this come about?
Yes, we prepared the request for proposal, and as I mentioned before, advertised it and got a proposal from the NRO. So it was us that initiated the project.
Okay, so, and that was, usually these items that come up to council are because staff's recommending it, correct? You think it's what's best for the city? Okay. All right, that's all I wanted. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll bring back the item at the next meeting.
Thank you.
I have a question.
You know what, we're gonna move on to the next item. So we we're not taking any action on this.
If
So-
there is a leak, how do you have it called OSHA? As
E-
they say? Are we safe?
Thank
Because we have a leak right now.
thank you. We'll move on to item number 16. Authorize acting city manager to sign work study contract agreement with Imperial Valley College IVC for fiscal year 2024-25. Library manager.
Good afternoon, members of the council and city staff and the public.
For over 30 years, the library of the city of Calexico has partnered with Imperial Valley College to offer participants or students the ability to get a job at the library in a different facilities, recreation department, sometimes at the police department as well. So they afforded training. There's very cost effective to the city because we only paid 35% of whatever they get paid. They get paid minimum wage. So this is a yearly agreement that we bring before you so that you authorize, hopefully the city manager, at least the library and the recreation department have already budgeted for this expense. So I don't know if you have any questions.
Thank you. Move for approval.
So move.
Oh, any comment? You have okay.
Mayor Camilo Garcia.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno.
Yes.
Councilmember Gloria Romo is absent. Councilmember Victor Legaspi.
Yes.
Councilmember Lisa Thailenda.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 18, authorize acting city manager to, or his designee, to sign worksite agreement with Department of,
17.
17. I jumped one. Authorize, item number 17, authorize acting city manager or his designee to sign employer worksite agreement with Equus Workforce Solutions for the placement of program participants at the Calexico Recreation Department for the period of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. Recreation manager.
Good evening, City Manager, City Mayor, and council members, members of the public. This item is very much the same as the previous item and the next item as well. They're just different programs. It's the same way to work. It's a different program in which programs they reach out to us to possibly place program participants and get them some work experience in their resumes. It's a win-win. They get work experience, they get paid for the volunteer hours, and the city benefits by creating more assistance for the community. So item 17, it's for the Equus Workforce Solutions, and 18 would be Department of Rehab. Both items are the recreations items.
Thank you. Any questions by council?
No.
Do I have a motion?
Yeah, so move.
Second, just with the correction, on the work experience worksite agreement, it says that Equus Workforce Solutions service provider for the Maricopa County workforce.
Okay.
So that should
Thank
be
you.
Imperial County workforce.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, we'll make the
So we don't go into contract with Maricopa County.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have a first and a second. Okay. Roll call.
Mayor Camilo Garcia.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno.
Yes.
Councilmember Gloria Romo is absent. Councilmember Victor Legaspi.
Yes.
Councilmember Lisa Thailenda.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 18, authorize acting city manager or his designee to sign worksite agreement with Department of Rehabilitation to place career catalyst program participants at the Calexico Recreation Department for the period of July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. Again, recreation manager. Same thing. So I move for approval. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mayor Camilo Garcia.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno.
Yes.
Councilmember Gloria Romo is absent. Councilmember Victor Legaspi.
Yes.
Councilmember Lisa Thailenda.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 19, appointment of confirmation by Mayor Pro Tem Moreno to the following commission, boards, and committees. City Clerk.
Yeah, yes, thank you, Mayor. The first one for me is Planning Commission. I make a motion to approve Belinda Alvarado for the planning.
Okay. You have a personal commission?
And the personnel, I'm working on her. I'm still trying to, yeah.
So you don't have a...
No, I don't have
Okay,
it.
thank you. So item number 20, appointment of confirmation by Council Member Legaspi and Council Member Thailenda to the following commissions, boards and committees, City Clerk, and this will be for Library Board of Trustees, Personnel Commission, Business Improvement District, BID, Sales Tax Citizen Advisory Committee, Measure H, Economic Development and Finance Advisory Commission, Police Advisory Commission, Community Services Commission, and Planning Commission. So, and these are appointed by each council member.
You want to go first?
Sure. For the library board, I'm going to appoint Consuelo Camacho. She was a board member before.
Okay. So personal commission, you have?
Oh, I'm
You
sorry.
keep on going down
Oh,
the
keep
list.
going down?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it's me.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. Okay, I don't have anybody for the
Okay.
personnel commission. For the bid, it'll be Robert Gronich. For the Measure H, it'll be Miss Norma.
Norma?
Norma.
Say last name?
Oh, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Norma Aguilar.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
For the Economic Development Advisor, Mr. Benjamin Horton.
All right.
Nobody wants to be a police advisory commission? Any takers out there? No? For the community service, Mr. Jesus Solano. And for the planning commission, Mary Salazar.
Okay. Your term is then?
Hold on, let me. So for the library board of trustees, I'm going to have to come back to appoint someone. As well as the personnel commission, I don't have anyone. For the business improvement district, I'd like to appoint Joseph Edward Guilin. For the sales tax citizen advisory committee, Measure H, I'd like to appoint Lorena Minor Montes on contingency of her accepting it. For Economic Development and Financial Advisory Commission, I do not have an appointee. For Police Advisory Commission, neither. Community Services Commission, I'd have to come back as well. For the Planning Commission, I'd like to appoint Karen Osuna.
Okay. And I also want to thank whoever applied, for their availability and willingness to volunteer. So, again, your application will be kept on file. Now with that, we're going to move to future agenda items. Starting to my right.
Oh goodness, hold on, let me go back to the notes. Can we start?
Okay, so, oh, wait, okay.
You go first.
Yes, Mr. City Manager, we have a line item for the commissioners' updates, right? And tonight we only saw one, and I think for the past couple of months, we've been missing other commissioners' report. So please reach out if they're still interested or not. I mean, I know with the bid, we have a chairman, I know the other ones as well, so if something's going on, at least come and give us an update. That's very important, right?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate on that. Nothing else comes to mind?
Okay.
Oh, yes, wait a minute. We did, we are about to receive, this is for the public. Last year, we had a sister city agreement with the city of Ensenada, where I was the mayor, so they're reaching out as we speak. You should have received an email. So Mayor Camilo Garcia can sign their agreement on their end. And I believe there's going to be an invite for us to go down there, so we can put it on the agenda for approval. That's going to require probably travel, whatever it is, and you're up for the task, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just make sure you get the backup.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Okay.
If I may. I'd like on the next council agenda there to be discussion. We've given direction for the town hall meeting for the La Jolla Palm subdivision CFDs, and we wanted the consultant there, so I'd like a follow-up for that community, so we can give them dates, a status, where we'll be meeting, and when the tentative dates are. The other item I'd like to see on the agenda, also just for discussion, is an update on the status for demo. I believe the address is 341 Cesar Chavez. It's the old Tortas and Beer building, city-owned. So I'd like to see a status of that. We already approved the budget. It's on there. So I'd like to know when we're going to demo it.
Okay, that item's going to go up for bid this month.
Okay.
it should take about 30 days for Cesar Chavez, and hopefully by next month, September, it would be done.
Perfect, thank you.
Also, I would like to bring back the Assembly Bill supplemental of AB 481, Chief, for the next council meeting. That's the militarization of weapons. You have to bring that up every year. It's Assembly Bill 481. Yeah. And also the town hall meeting for Station 2, have we set up a date, or we're still working on it, or?
Ms. Alamid reached out this past month. I reached out as well to the school district, and they came back with no dates and no approval from the board.
I'll help with that. I have
Okay.
spoken to some of the board members and also the superintendent. I know that we were planning on having it before the school was out.
Yes.
They had agreed just to make sure that we coincided. We didn't coincide with some of the events that they were having for the end of the year, celebration that they had, or events. So I will help on that and make sure that we set up a meeting down on that side.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll help you with that.
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Then also I had asked, and I know this was a while back, on an RFP for legal services. If you, Mr. CM, if you can look into that and, putting something together.
Yes, it's in the process.
Okay, thank you. That's all. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second it.
Roll call.
Mayor Camilo Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Javier
Yes.
Moreno, Councilmember Gloria Ramos absent, Councilmember Victor Legaspi,
Yes.
Councilmember Lisa Thailenda.
Yes.
Motion passes.
So we adjourn about, what is it, 8:47. Happy 4th of July.
No?